I'm 29 years old. I'm a husband. I'm a father. And I know something most people don't like to admit. I'm not living up to my full potential. And the scary part is, I know exactly how much more I'm capable of. People tell me I'm doing great. My work's going well. I've got a wife and 2 kids. I just got a house. All these things may be true, but they don't know what I know. Deep down inside, I know I'm not operating at the level that I could be. And if you're watching this video, you probably feel the same way. It might also look or appear as if I've got it all together because I'm running around and doing all these workouts. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. This is what desperation looks like. This is what last chance looks like. This is what the 5th time at the crossroads looks like. Another chance to make a change to the point that we'll never go back. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's go swim our first lap. First time in the water. I've really never swam before. This will be the first lap I've ever tried. I just realized I don't have goggles. Swimming all over the place. It wasn't so bad. So while I'm making this first video, I'm just running around doing a bunch of random things. Like I said, not really sure what's gonna work, what path, what direction I need to go down. I imagine a lot of us don't know what we need to do to get things to work. We know that we're made for more. We know that we have the potential, but sometimes you struggle putting the pieces together. And in a lot of ways, you can be good at your job. You can be good at being a husband, a father. You can be active. You can be present in your community. And sometimes these can be difficult things, difficult enough to get you moving in the right direction. And I found that when all else fails, when those things don't work, even when you try to be present or you are present, physical activity is what moves me forward and what I found to help me grow in this next stage, this next part of my life. And so just to give you guys some perspective on where I'm starting, where I'm at, again, I'm 29. I just started working out, again, for the first time in a decade since I was in high school. Maybe some of you guys can relate. I've never really taken health or fitness seriously. I was always active because I was in athletics growing up. But since high school, I haven't done anything. When I turned 29, after a decade of doing my job, working, I'm a live streamer, I play video games, I sit on my butt for a living, I finally took it upon myself to take action and get into physical shape. And what's the best way to get into physical shape? At least for me, it was to set a big goal, and we set out to go run a marathon. And I ran a marathon. I trained for 4 months after doing nothing since high school. Got it done in 4 hours and 50 minutes. And I had a bunch of goals leading into the marathon, but as I was training about halfway through, I realized those goals, the math wasn't mathing up, and I wasn't gonna make those times. But my only goal was to complete the marathon without stopping or walking, and I completed that. And so I was very proud of myself. But I'm sitting here right next to these planter boxes that I just made because we've just recently moved into a new house a couple months ago, and my wife, she wanted to grow some plants. So what do you do as a husband? You keep your wife happy. So we made some planter boxes, and I thought this would be representative of the future of this channel and the future of my life. In a lot of ways, the way we just went to the plant store and got these watermelon seeds, these watermelon plants. They've been in the dirt for about 3 days now, and I'm checking on them every day, wishing they would grow and be at their final stage, but they look the same as whenever we put them in the box initially. And I think this is gonna be representative of my walk and my growth in this channel and in this next chapter of my life. I'm planting myself in these planter boxes, and it's not gonna happen overnight. I'm not gonna grow into the final product overnight. But with time, we will come to our final stage. And we could take this even deeper, depending on the preparation and the roots and the dirt that you started with, your foundation, your base, and how you tend to your garden every single day. It will change your final product, your final result. So I get real excited and motivated, you know, whenever I do these new things or I take on new challenges. But I think that it's humbling to remind myself that depending on what you put in is what you're gonna get out. And so we'll see if these plants live or die. They may not end up doing any good at all, but I did go into a lot of effort of getting dirt from the local mushroom plant. I got dirt combined with hay and house manure from the local rodeo. And so I went out of my way. I got a couple truckloads of dirt to get these things started. So hopefully we have a good enough foundation. Went to the local plant sale. Instead of just starting straight from seeds, maybe these plants have a chance at life. And, you know, in a lot of ways, I'm starting almost from scratch. That's how I see it. But I did just run a marathon. And a lot of people will think, well, man, you're in shape. You just ran a marathon. So a lot of people don't even run a marathon in their life. So how can this be comparable? In a lot of ways, man, I willed myself into doing it. I stuck to a 4-month training plan, and I bought some sneakers and I did it. I just went out and started running, and I don't even feel like I'm in shape. That's what's crazy. You know, a lot of my friends, or even myself, I thought that I would see this major transformation, or my life would be totally changed and converted, but I don't even feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. I don't even really look any different than whenever I first started running the marathon. Maybe I thought I was going to be jacked, but yeah, I pretty much look the same. And so to get to the next goal, the next step here, as you can see, I was swimming in that last clip, and I think I'm going to take it upon myself to start training for a triathlon, because like I said at the start of this clip, I don't really know where I'm going or what I'm doing or what it's going to take to grow into the next step. So why not? Let's start training for a triathlon. Let's do something hard. Let's do something difficult. And I really felt like I grew in this marathon training and completing the marathon itself. The marathon was great. It was more of a celebration, but it was the day in, the week in, and week out, which was where the real transformation, the real growth happened. And the final race day was just, like I said, kind of like the end of that chapter. And man, week by week, whenever I started running, there were so many obstacles that I ran into. I was forced to hold myself accountable. I was forced to ice my knees for the first 6 weeks because my knees felt like they were ruined. And I have great knees, but just putting that type of stress and mileage on my knees for the first time, I had to stretch. I had to elevate my legs. I had to ice my knees. The point is I had to be intentional. I had to take care of myself. And a lot of times, you know, even the basics of taking care of yourself, it can be difficult. So it was great that in the marathon training, I found a way to begin taking care of myself. And I hope that as I train for this triathlon, I am pushed in a way that I will have to hold myself accountable in a way that I've never held myself accountable before. So we'll see how we grow throughout this series, throughout this chapter. And if you find yourself resonating with anything that I said in this video, stick around. This is the Dad Potential, and we'll see how far we can go and what we can do as fathers, as husbands, as family members. Even if you're not still married, but you got kids, you know, you can still make it happen. And you've got little ones, you may even have older ones. Let's live up to our dad potential.